Hello Mustangs, today is Friday the 22nd.
Let's kick things off with today's question of the day. What is the most popular Thanksgiving meal? Stick around because we'll reveal the answer at the end of the episode.
Starting with the weather, on to Drew Becker for this week's weather report.
Hello Mustangs, welcome back to your weather report with your host Drew Becker. Today, Friday, November 22nd, we have a high of 52 with winds around 3 miles per hour as well as a cloudy afternoon. Looking forward to this weekend. On Saturday, we have highs in the 60s, with Saturday being a high of 63 and Sunday being a high of 62. We have very cloudy weather all of next week with lows in the 20s and highs in the 40s. Monday, your high is 35, with Monday being your high 44 degrees, Tuesday 43 degrees, as well as a chance of rain. A high of 42 on Wednesday, a high of 38 on Thursday, so make sure you have your jackets. And Friday being a high of 45 degrees. That is your weather report with your host, Drew Becker. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Drew.
This week we're highlighting wrestling as the season has just begun.
I think it's going to be a good season. There's a bunch of people out for it, and they're a good group and hardworking. So I think it's going to go pretty good.
So one of my biggest goals is probably making it to state, being a state qualifier, and just getting some good wins as a team. Just focusing in practice, staying locked in during drills, and getting it done in the room.
One of my biggest goals is probably to try to make it to state this year by trying to get as much practice time in as I can and working as hard as I can with my partners.
Next up, Quill and Scroll and NHS recently had their induction ceremonies, celebrating new members and to reflect. We'll head over to Coda's Corner to hear from Miss Connard.
Welcome back, Mustangs, to this week's episode of Coda's Corner. This week we have Miss Connard to talk about NHS.
So what is NHS? NHS is National Honor Society. It's a national group in the whole United States. It's run by the NASSP, and you can have National Honor Society in high schools and in middle schools, actually. So here at Rock Creek, NHS has been around since the 90s, since we built the school. And in order to be a member of NHS, a sophomore, junior, or senior first has to meet the criteria of having a 3.5 GPA. Then they can fill out the application which asks about the 3 pillars. There's 4 pillars of NHS. The application will then focus on the other 3, which are character, service, and leadership. A student would fill out that application, and then that application goes to a group of 5 teachers, and every year those 5 teachers change, very random, whoever we choose, and those 5 teachers look at all the applications, read the essays, and they decide who becomes a member, and then we induct them in November.
And I heard you had your induction last night.
Yes, we did.
So how did that go? And kind of tell me a little bit about that.
It went really well. We had 16 members to begin with, juniors and seniors, and then we inducted 18 new members. So we doubled our numbers, and we have 34 now, and I'm super excited about that. I think for a school, about 10-15% of your population should be in National Honor Society.
And not all the people who got inducted are people who wrote essays. Like, there was more people who...
There were lots more people who applied, and they did not meet all the criteria. Like, for example, maybe they didn't have very much leadership in school or out of school, or maybe they didn't have very much service. So those were things that I talked to them about. Okay, well, you're only a sophomore. Work on that, like join some more clubs, try to do things with your church or with an organization in Manhattan or something, and then next year reapply.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in to talk, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
And finally, the answer to today's question of the day. The most popular Thanksgiving meal is turkey. In fact, an estimated 46 million turkeys are consumed in the United States each year during Thanksgiving.
Thanks for tuning in, Mustangs. We'll see you next time. Until then, ho fum.